Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, September 21st. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Real quick, a couple of clarifications. First off, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, ticker symbol NIO. Talked about this in yesterday's video and how you had to think that a lot of people were probably watching that key trend line right there and got the break of that trend line, made a nice little move up. And the key thing here, and first let me actually just get rid of that level as it served its purpose. But now to give credit's due, the price did maintain those gains. But is this the start of a truly strong move? I have no idea, but by using charts and specifically that level right there at $8.65, that becomes a very important level. And I'm not saying this is what's going to occur, but for explanation's sake, let's say the price comes down here and then breaks down below it. At that point in time, what would you have? You would have the price having gone right back to where it was. And I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but when price movements make nice moves and then go back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine power. But to be fair, nothing can go straight up. So maybe the price comes down here, behaves like that, and then starts to curl back upwards. Now, all of a sudden, what would you have? Well, you'd have a set of lows right there. You'd have lows right here. And if you envision those as stair steps, well, now you have some progress being made in the upwards direction. And that's what a truly strong move is going to do. It's going to show progress, which does lead to the question, okay, Clay, how are you defining quote unquote progress? And again, that's where $8.65 comes into play. So let's see if the price can stay above that level moving forward. Next one here, ticker symbol LIFW, and big move today, and now we have a big pullback. So there's no doubt about it. Started off the day, very, very impressive. And then after that, yeah, a pretty rough pullback there. But I want to squeeze things down here a little bit just to offer up a little bit more context, because from the big picture point of view, everything is still completely fine. The price is still above the 50-period moving average, that purple line. The price is still above that pink line, the 200-period moving average. The price is putting in higher highs. The price is putting in higher lows. So from that angle, things are fine. But that is a little tricky because I do understand that if you're a day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought right there, then and your plan was to buy and sell within 20 minutes, well then yeah, from that angle, the chart is an absolute train wreck. So I'm making these comments based more so from the bigger picture point of view. And what's interesting and what makes this, I think, an area that a lot of people will be watching is check. In fact, let me zoom in here real quick just so we can see a little bit better. But you can see the price is now sitting right there at that purple line there, which brings about a very valid question. Is the price going to be able to hold above that purple line and get a bounce? It's a very plausible scenario to say, I think it can bounce from there. I can see why you would say that because that is a very key level within the world of technical analysis. Now, if the price does break below that area, does that mean it's the end of the world? I would not say that because, again, from the big picture, and I'm trying to emphasize big picture point of view, you still do have the price up above that pink line there. Now, if the price somehow goes down to that line and then crashes through there, at that point, that's a much different scenario. But as of now, that has not yet happened. So overall, yeah, bigger pullback here, but the price is sitting right atop that 50-period moving average. So we'll see if the price can get the bounce or not. Next one here, ticker symbol BJDX. And overall, things are fine. Again, like I just talked about, a bit of perspective. If you're a day trader and you bought right there, then yeah, the chart's probably not looking very good for you. But assuming you care about the bigger picture point of view, you have a nice pullback here and a very nice defined breakout point. That breakout point being pink line there, the 200-period moving average, which is kind of tricky though, because you can see right there, price broke above it and then fell back down. Again, price broke above it and fell back down. So going into the future, if the price does break that pink line, again, it could very well be a genuine breakout, but that's what makes this not quite as beautiful as the setup as it could be, because now you have that element of, yeah, but it's already had two fake breaks. So if it breaks again, will that be another fake break? Maybe, but to be fair, maybe it's not. Maybe this thing finally gets rocking and rolling. So yes, it's definitely tricky from that angle. If you prefer to play more so pullbacks, then an interesting pullback level on this one, that purple line down there, the 50-period moving average. But all in all, good movement today, good volatility. Yeah, you got a bit of a pullback with the price. This could very well still just be a little bit of a consolidation. So we'll see if it can turn itself back around over the next couple of days. Next one, EBET, and very nice mover today on this one. And overall, just a nice looking chart. I mean, very, very nice looking uptrend there. Higher highs, higher lows. And that's the name of the game. But we'll zoom back in here to stay focused on more so the near term areas. So the first level from a resistance standpoint that you got to think a lot of people are probably watching moving forward is right up here around the 0.074 mark. Again, that's broadly speaking, because you can see right there, price didn't quite hit it. And then right there, price actually went a little bit above it. So I'm just trying to split the difference there. But 0.074 going to be that main area of resistance, at least in my opinion, headed into the next couple of days. As far as supports are concerned, the ideal level, I'm going to say, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest going forward? And that would be if the price could stay up here above 0.062. Let me change that. Now, if the price does break below there, not the end of the world, because from the overarching standpoint, which I've already talked about in past charts, you still do have that purple line there, 50-period moving average. So from the overarching standpoint, as long as the price does stay above that purple line, as that purple line itself moves higher and higher, hence its name, moving average. So it's basically like a trend line that's going to draw itself for you. So as that quote-unquote trend line draws itself higher and higher, from the overarching standpoint, as long as the price is above that level, that's what matters most. But yeah, certainly if the price can stay above 0.062, that would be great. Next one here, AMC, and nice move today. Yesterday's video, I talked about how it did make a nice initial surge, but the big question mark going into today was, okay, nice move, but can it stay above that level right there at $7.80? And yeah, I mean, it didn't even go back down there and test it. So very, very impressive move. I am going to leave 780 out there as a level of support because it's still important for all the reasons I talked about in yesterday's video, but I won't repeat myself here because this level here has, it still pertains, just less relevant given that the price has moved up. But the ideal level, as I just talked about, would be right there, that purple line, 50-period moving average, meaning what would make this chart look the best? Well, ideally speaking, if the price can stay above the purple line there. Now, if the price does not hold above it, again, not the end of the world, because you still do have that 780 mark right there. In terms of levels of resistance, I think pretty straightforward here, because there were several times today the price got right up around this general area of 865 and just momentum disappeared every single time. So you can see right there, momentum disappeared, momentum disappeared. It did break above it, but that didn't last very long. Momentum disappeared and then got up right there somewhat, and momentum, disappeared once again. So 865, I'm not saying is impossible to break. I'm just saying that apparently, according to the story here that's being told to us via the chart, the price is really going to need to bring its A game if it's going to be able to break above and stay above that 865 mark. But overall, a good solid day. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online web class that I'm offering here very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Next one here, NKLA, and once again, just a matter of seeing how things play out within this sideways channel. And I shouldn't say once again, because that assumes that you watch your previous videos, but you could be, new to the channel. So, hey, welcome to the channel. But if you did not watch, if this is your first video, then as a quick recap, NKLA, very popular stock, which is why I'm keeping it updated. But I've just been talking about how the price has been stuck inside of this sideways channel over the past few days, and today is no different. Now, what's interesting, though, is as I speak, you can see, and this is why I like to do these when the market is still open, but you can see that candle is knocking on the door of 138. So that'll be the big question mark moving forward, is can the price maintain this channel right here? Previous time it got down here, found some support, beautiful bounce. But once again, the price has returned back to the bottom part of that channel, and it'll just be a question moving forward of, is history going to repeat itself? Is there going to be some sort of bounce off that level? So definitely keep an eye on 138 as that area of support. As far as resistance levels, again, nothing new here to report other than just restating the top part of this channel pattern, which is up here at the $1.63 mark. But yeah, very, very interesting scenario right now. Market closes here in about 5 minutes, so it'll be interesting to see. Now, you'll know whether or not this level holds, because by the time you watch this, the market will be closed. But as I speak right now, doing battle with the $1.38. We'll see if it can hold or not. Next one here, AVGR, and very, very impressive looking chart, and it continues. And in fact, as I speak, you can see this thing is pushing to new highs. So it's breaking out last 30 minutes and literally, like I said, putting in new highs right now as I'm speaking here, with 5 minutes left until the market closes. But definitely updates need to be done. Going to go ahead and delete these lines out as they serve their purpose for now. But the first dynamic here, and this is, it sounds kind of bad, but it's not. And that dynamic here is the fact that, yeah, the breakout has occurred. Now you may be thinking, well, if the breakout's occurred, then what's good for us? What good is that for us? We've missed the breakout. That's true. That's a completely fair point, but it does allow a very interesting question. But yeah, so yes, the breakout has happened, which leads to this question. But is this the start of something even bigger? Now think about that question. A lot of times, people don't even get to ask it because the stock that they're in, nothing worthwhile happens. So it makes no sense to say, oh, wow, is this the start of something bigger? So it is it's a powerful question to be able to ask, and you can ask it because the breakout has happened. So is it the start of something bigger? To be fair, maybe it's not. Maybe this thing just rolls right back over. That's completely possible. But that is a two-sided coin because, well, I mean, maybe it is the start of something bigger, and this thing gets ripping and roaring to the upside. So if you like those situations where you can ask that question, okay, it's broken out, but is this breakout the start of an even bigger move? Certainly keep an eye on this one. Next one here, TSLA Tesla, and yes, very rough afternoon, but to be fair, the Fed had their announcement and a lot of stocks, the market as a whole just kind of rolled back over. So it's not like it's completely Tesla's fault here. But the dynamic here that you got to think everybody and their brother's uncle is going to be watching on Wednesday has everything to do with that pink line there, the 200 period moving average, throwing out the question, can this thing get the bounce? And to add a little bit more spiciness here, let's add in another level, which is the previous low right here at 261.20. So we'll change that to a support. And notice the dynamic here. Notice how these levels are not exact, but they're certainly well within the same general neighborhood of each other. Does that guarantee a bounce? No, there are no guarantees. But is it plausible? Is it valid to think that if the price comes down here, you could get some sort of bounce? That is certainly a plausible outlook. But once more, there are no guarantees. So that's why risk management matters. But yeah, in my mind, like I said, that just to make it easy, let's just call it 261. You got to think that everybody's going to be watching that 261 mark and looking for some sort of bounce, or the shorts are probably watching it looking for a breakdown, which they will lead to believe. And again, I can understand where they're thinking, where they think that break could lead to that much more downside selling pressure. But at the core here, everybody's going to be watching that 261 mark. Next one, AAPL Apple, and like Tesla and its defense, rough looking chart here, but the entire markets right now are pretty rough looking. But what I do want to map out here is this area, which is going to represent the gap close at the 175 mark and just a former area of resistance. So you can see right there, this was an area of resistance. So now it just becomes a question is, will the foundational rule come into play, which is when levels of resistance are broken, they tend to act as support. So again, you can throw out the question mark there and it makes it very valid. Is there guarantees? No, but could somebody accuse you of saying 175 is some sort of degenerate gambler random area that makes no sense? You just completely threw a dart. No, there's good, solid logic that goes behind it. So like Tesla and everybody watching that 261 mark, in my opinion, at least on Apple, you got to think a lot of people are going to be watching that 175 mark because it is that gap close location. It is that area of former resistance. Now, in the event that level does not quite hold up, well, the next level you'd want to watch quite closely is down there at 173.80. So yes, if this downwards momentum continues, these are definitely a couple of areas where I could see bounces potentially happening. Next one here, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ market. So if you believe the NASDAQ market is going to rise, then this one will also rise. Difference is it just allows you access at a much lower price point. And because the NASDAQ market had a brutal day today, this one also had a brutal day. And not necessarily because it was red, but from a technical point of view, I'm going to go ahead and adjust this down. You can see that the price came down to that area of support and just absolutely just crushed it to the downside. And that's where the first update comes into play, which is based on a foundational rule in charting, stating when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that level as it served its purpose for now. So if the price does try to level out and then curl back upwards, that'll be the first big question mark from a resistance standpoint. Can the price break above 38.50? If it can, then you'd want to immediately turn your attention to that purple line there, the 50 period moving average, which you can see actually earlier today rejected the price. So right there, the power of charts. I'll turn that into a quick plug. Go get signed up for that free class. In terms of areas of support, I know the chart's getting harder to see here as we have to go back further into the chart's history. There we go. But the next key level of support now, right down there around, let's see, what is that? $37.35, we'll just call it. So I'll zoom back in here, but that's coming from a level not seen for a very long time ago. So does the price go down there and bounce, or does it crash through there? Only time will tell. But yeah, things got definitely spicy today. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to go get signed up for that free training. It'll be very soon, Thursday, September 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, do two things for me. Hit the like button, leave a comment, say hi, tell me what you traded today, give me your watch list for tomorrow. But those two things help out the channel. They help out with the algorithm, and I really do appreciate it. So if you're looking for just an easy way to contribute to the channel, just do those two things and definitely go get signed up for that free class. So everybody, thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good one.